In this video, we're going to do a live comparison between Lovable and Bolt. So Bolt and Lovable are two AI coding tools that allow you to write what you want it to build, and then it uses AI to write the code for you. They are similar tools, so in this experiment, we're going to ask each of them to build the exact same thing, use similar prompts, and see what results we get with a quick test. For this experiment, I'm going to ask both Bolt and Lovable to build a task app similar to Trello. So I want to see how it does with that prompt. So I'm going to say, I want to build a task app similar to Trello with a drag and drop interface. So let's start with just a simple prompt like that. I'm going to run it in Bolt, switch over to Lovable, and run the exact same prompt. So I'm going to pause the video while both Bolt and Lovable are generating these apps for us. So just a quick check-in, here we are in Lovable, and what it does on the left side is first it kind of writes out a plan. So design inspiration, features for the first version, design elements, and then it starts generating. And then over in Bolt, what it does is kind of first does all the installations, and then it tells us what features it built. So it looks like right off the bat, the Bolt generation, the first generation, happened a little bit more quickly than the Lovable generation. So Lovable is still generating it, but it didn't take too much longer. And in my opinion, that doesn't really matter too much to me of how long it takes, especially in the beginning. So here we are, and let's test out both of these versions. One thing I do want to note, just so you're aware, is that in Bolt, we're using the diffs feature preview, which basically means instead of rewriting the entire files when I ask for changes, it just finds the change and makes the update. This is currently in beta for Bolt, so it could cause some issues, but just letting you know. But it also is just a better way of doing it because it uses a lot less tokens, and I've been really enjoying using it. Lovable doesn't have that option. I'm not sure exactly how they do it in the backend. I think they may by default use some similar functionality because when I make changes in Lovable, they happen pretty quickly. Okay, so here we are. It looks like by default, they kind of added some tasks to play around with by default. Let's see if I can add a task. Can I click to edit? It looks like I am not able to edit right off the bat, but I can move tasks and generate new tasks, and it doesn't let me generate new boards off the bat. So here we are in Bolt, and it's letting me add a new task. I can drag it to different columns, and it looks like I also am not able to click to edit it. But let's say new column. I'll add a column. This is letting me add new columns off the bat as well. So that's pretty cool. So let's add some more functionality to both of them based on kind of what I've seen. So first, for Bolt, I'm going to say, make it so that I can edit the tasks. Right now, that functionality doesn't work. So I'm going to take that prompt, go to Lovable, and paste in that exact same prompt. And then I'm also going to say, also, please add the ability to add columns. So Bolt is now running. And again, as I mentioned, it's using the diffs functionality. So it won't take as long as if you have diffs turned off in your settings, or if you're watching this video in the future, they may have that on by default. But I have to, it's going to go in, update the code. One thing that's a little different between Bolt and Lovable is in Bolt, you can edit the code directly. Whereas in Lovable, you just have to go to GitHub and connect your GitHub account. Okay, so it looks like there was an error or something. So I'm gonna run this one more time here in Lovable. While that's running in Lovable, let's see if this was fixed. Okay, cool. So now we do have this little edit button. New task, save. Edit, new task, edited, save. Okay, cool. So that is working. That's actually pretty good. I really like this for a first try here. I'm gonna do one more thing in this, but I just want to see if this is updated. It says that it fixed it, so awesome. So now if I click edit, let's see if this works, save. And I also like the hover feature where it kind of, as you can see, if it's hovered, it's going up and down a little bit. And then it also has the add column, and now there's a new column. Looks like I can't edit the name of that new column right now, but it did create the new column, which is pretty nice. And this, also the design is nice. It doesn't have quite the same hover effects as Lovable, but I think they're both pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna add a new prompt, and I'm gonna say, please keep all functionality. This is gonna be focused on style, but update the style to look similar to the Spotify app in terms of design and style. So I'm gonna put that into Bolt, and then let's put that into Lovable as well. And what I'm imagining is this is gonna give it kind of a dark mode, maybe some green accent colors. Let's see how it does updating the style in both of them. Okay, so here we are. Lovable made the change, and I think this is just a nice little hack. I kind of like the Spotify design, and it just kind of gives it a really cool dark mode here. So a little space that needs to be fixed, but overall I like it. Maybe it's a little hard to see the individual cards before hovering, but overall this looks good. Let's see Bolt. Generally I found Bolt to be a little better at design, so let's see if it actually is. So here we are in Bolt. Let's add a card. Yeah, so I don't know. Let me see which one I like better. You know, maybe I like Bolt a little better. I like the hover on that plus button a little bit more. I like how the plus is in green, just to how it to accent, but that doesn't look as good. Yeah, I would say maybe a tie. So far, it is pretty close, I would say, between the two of them. I like how it uses the green accent in Bolt. And of course, I could very easily do that. I could, in Lovable, to add that in. Yeah, just off the bat, maybe I like Bolts a little bit better. Both did a pretty good job. Okay, so now I want to ask it for something a little bit more complicated. Add functionality to have multiple boards that I can switch between. So let's add that to Lovable, and let's add that to Bolt as well. So I'll pause the video, let it build out that functionality. Okay, so here we are in Bolt first, and it looks like, let's see if I click add new board, board 2, create. Now I can switch between the boards, and let's see if, let's just say, it doesn't really matter. So now there's a task on board, the first board, board 2, no task. Let's add something to in progress, go back. Okay, so that's pretty awesome. It's working really well on Bolt. Let's check out Lovable. Main board, project alpha, interesting. So there's kind of two boards, and I kind of like how Lovable has mock data to start with. And if I click add board, now new board 3. I don't have the ability to edit those board names, but that I'm sure would be pretty easy to add. I like how Lovable added them in here on the top. And then here it's drop down. I don't know, maybe I like Lovables a little bit more, but this is just something where it's interesting how these different tools are just a little bit opinionated in different ways, probably just based on the training data that they have. Of course, with Bolt, I could ask it to do it like this. You can also add screenshots for inspiration for both of them. But both of them did really good for this as well. And I can add more boards here. Same, I can't, I guess, edit the board name after it's created right now. But again, that would also be pretty easy to add for either of them. Now, one thing to note is for both of these right now, for Bolt and Lovable, I'm just using the, I'm not connected to a database, which you can do pretty easily in both Bolt and Lovable to add Supabase or Firebase, but Supabase has a really easy connection in Lovable, and Bolt it's really easy as well. I have videos on the channel that explain how to do that, so I'm not going to go into that in this video, I'm just going to focus more on the functionality. But what that means is if, we deploy it and refresh, then you're not going to save the data. So it wouldn't actually be that usable. And we're not going to add authentication in this video because that requires adding Supabase authentication, meaning kind of the ability to sign in and log in. All right, so let's try another feature. Let's say, please add the ability to add due dates to the tasks. And I'll copy that and I'll put the exact same prompt into Lovable and let's see how it does. Both of them are still working. It looks like Bolt is just about finished. So here we go. Let's add a task, edit, and now we can add a due date, which is pretty cool. So save, and then there we go. Now we have a due date. Let's see if we put this due date to like the 19th, what happens. So interestingly, it looks like it's putting the date before. Those are things we can edit, but it did a really good job on first track. I like how it has this in the accent color there. Over on Lovable, looks like it's running into an error. So let's say try to fix and have it try and fix that error. Okay, so we're back here in Lovable. It says it fixed it, and it looks like now it has the due date, and I can change it, click save, and there we go. So it did that pretty well in both of them. Let's add another functionality. Let's say I want to have the ability to add commenting to each card. Could you add that? And then want to put the exact same prompt here into Lovable. So I'll pause the video and let's see how both of them do with this new feature. All right, so here we are in Bolt first. Let's add, let's click edit, save. So if I click that little comment, I can say here is a comment, add comment. Very cool. Second comment. All right, and if I drag that over, so right now, and then if I click, okay, that's awesome. It did a great job with that comment, and it's cool. It's basically coming up with, I guess, the most kind of common way that could be implemented. So it did a really good job there. I'm curious how Lovable is going to implement that. All right, I don't know if it did yet. It looks like it's still adding it. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video and what it adds. So it's something to note. Of course, it might depend a little bit on when you're using it, how overloaded each kind of tool is, but I will say, especially with the diffs feature turned on for Bolt, it does seem to be a little bit faster, maybe a little bit faster than Lovable. Again, both are pretty fast, so it's not really a huge deal, but that's how it is now. Of course, if the diffs were turned off, Bolt might be slower. So just a note there. All right, so it's been a couple minutes, and here we go. Looks like it's implementing it pretty similarly. So comment 1, add comment, comment 2, add comment, and it looks like I can open and close it. So it did it really very similarly. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there. I think both of them did a really great job. Hopefully you learned a little bit about how these tools build, how to prompt with them, how to use them. I need to do more testing to see which one I like better. Right now, I really like both of them, and I think they're both worth kind of testing more, building more, and continuing to learn more about them. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this for free in the future. If you have any questions at all, leave a comment below. Leave a comment with anything you want us to build. If you have anything, any ideas that you'd love to see, let us know. Be sure to check out the link in our description to go to No Code MBA and view a lot more no code and AI tutorials in a lot more depth, so you can learn a lot quicker without making all of the mistakes that you might make without having an expert teaching you how to do it. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next video.